Oh, wait. Do we have any open stuff?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
We'll find something.
Even
probably, that's perfect.
Probably that.
Hello and welcome to Rekt Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Crypto Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good, man. You know, just chilling out here in home base. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed this morning. I popped out of bed with my typical 5 hours of sleep, and it's really a roll of the dice every morning. Sometimes I wake up and I want to sleep for another 70 years, and sometimes I wake up and, it's good to go.
I feel that. I was up at like 5:30 this morning.
I saw that you were up early. I could I could see on our Telegram.
Yeah, I was up early this morning, like 5:30, and then, but like somehow I still didn't get anything done.
Yeah, that's all right. It's the effort that counts.
Well, I guess we'll see. But somehow I was still 5 minutes late to our podcast.
That's all right. That's all right.
So, well, I can tell you why. So my company, my real work life, has decided that, so this is the time we typically have our national sales meeting.
Right.
And so we have decided, obviously, not to travel for our corporate meeting, so they're doing it virtually, and that is just a pain in the dick.
That just sounds awful.
It is terrible. Just imagine going to a conference, because that's basically what these things are.
Yep.
And all the different sessions and all of this stuff, but virtually. So really all it is just, days worth of back-to-back webinars. And that's all fine and good. However, they are making it very unenjoyable from a spectator standpoint. Like, I literally had my boss micromanaging me yesterday about how I was watching a webinar.
Are you guys seeing each other? Like, are you on
full
video?
So they're forcing us to have our cameras on.
Bullshit.
They're forcing us to have our cameras on. They're forcing us to be in collared shirts and like in business attire.
Fuck off. How about that?
Exactly. And then on top of that, so like, he's messaging me about this stuff, and then during the webinar, he's texting me, like, telling me how to participate. And like, he's like, "Oh, ask a question." Like, I stopped responding, man.
Why are you such a cunt?
No.
That's my question.
I was like, that is a bridge too far for me. I'm not gonna be.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so. I'm angry for you right now.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
Fuming.
It was really awful. So I'm like, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why? Who cares?
Right.
I mean,
it's funny you bring that up, because like arbitrary like rules, like,
and that's what they are. They're literally arbitrary rules.
Nothing upsets me more. Like I forget I think I was watching something with my daughter yesterday, and somebody was like, "Oh, in the show we were watching, like, oh, you got to take your hat off when you go in the house," and she looks at me, she's like, "Why do you have to take your hat off when you go in the house?" I'm like, I have no clue.
You're like, you don't.
You really, really don't. Like I said, I said it was an old timey rule for old timey people. Like that's all it was. I'm like, I have no idea.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So yeah, arbitrary rules can fucking suck a chode.
Oh my god, dude! I was so frustrated. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And I'm like, just put me out of my misery. Just fucking fire me already.
Please.
I'm like, just please. So that's been my life this week. So I was late because I had to, make myself presentable for these 10 hours of webinars that I'm going to sit on and literally do nothing
I have
on.
the opposite problem right now with my real life work. My boss, I'll talk to him and I feel like it's always a pain in the ass for him. Like when we have to talk, I don't think he does. I don't think he wants to. We chat for probably 30 seconds a week. If that. Some weeks go by and I don't talk to him. So as long as I think he's the type of boss that's like, okay, I'm gonna give you tons of slack. Don't fuck up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that's kind of how it should be, right?
I flourish in this environment.
Yes, it's like if you get your shit done, who cares?
Right.
And,
we talked yesterday, and I could feel from the get. I just had to confirm literally two things with him, and I feel like from the get go, he's like, "Are we almost done with this call?" Yep, we're done, and we're good. Bye bye.
Yeah,
we'll talk to you maybe next week.
Yeah, that's my life right now also. So I have the opposite. I'm getting too micromanaged at this point, and I'm like, all right, yeah. And the problem is I do sales, right? So it's very difficult right now to get sales calls and sell accounts and all that. They just don't want to be they've got other things to do because for me I'm calling on nursing homes, and so they're in the middle of this crisis, and so but instead they've just packed our schedules with pointless crap and busy work and webinars, and you're just like, oh my God, kill me now. So, yeah, that's
let me fly like the bird I am.
Yes. So anyway, but that's my life going on right now. But we do have some news, Chamber. Do you wanna break it to the people?
Yeah, I mean, it's not it's not too ominous, but Bunch and I were chatting last week, and we think it's best going forward that for weeks that we do not have a guest, what we're going to do is we're going to put out one show that week. That'll come out on a Wednesday typically, so that is today's show. The weeks that we do have a guest, we'll put out two shows. So we'll have a guest show and then this type of show. What we were finding was just becoming a little redundant, I think, with the two episodes of basically this. We were not struggling to find content.
Basically
but,
this.
This whole thing. Not that we're struggling too much to find content, but we felt it was becoming a little redundant, and we wanted to give you guys, basically our best foot forward each time, right? So I find if there's a little bit of time between these, the solo shows, I feel those are better quality shows, and then obviously a guest show is always pretty good. So the guest really heightens the quality of the show every time.
So new schedule. It will be out on Wednesdays, probably mornings like this.
Yeah.
That will be where you could get your Rekt podcast fix. It's not like anything crazy is happening. We're just going from 2 to 1.
Exactly. And then the weeks that we do have two shows, it'll be a Monday, Thursday. I think is what we figured out. So whether that's a guest on the Monday or a guest on the Thursday, we'll leave that up to the guest schedule. But whatever day the guest comes on, we'll do a show on the other day.
Speaking of, we are 2 weeks away from our 2-year anniversary.
Isn't that crazy?
That's pretty crazy. There's not many things I've done for 2 years at one time.
No, I agree. Love my kids.
Yeah, but there's no choice there, right?
No. I don't think I have loved my kids for 2 years straight. It's periodically throughout the course of their life. I'll love
there
them.
You go. That's funny. So that's. The other thing I do need to talk to you about, because it's a follow up from our recommendation since the last time we talked. So,
right.
Since it's been almost a week and a half, because we kind of decided that we were going to do this schedule after we did our first episode last week, which was, I think, a Monday or a Tuesday. So it's been a while. In that time, I watched a full watch of your recommendation.
You watched the whole? I don't even think I finished it yet. Which one did I recommend?
I watched the whole thing. The Loop.
The Loop. I think I'm on like
Tales from the Loop.
How good so far? I'll tell you where I got up to. I'm up to the guy going on the tractor and then getting launched into the other dimension.
Right. Yes.
I think that was the last episode. I think I got a couple left to watch.
Very good show. I totally get the comp of Black Mirror meets Lost. Yes.
Yeah, right? I think I'm watching it more and I'm like, I feel like it's pretty close to that. Like I feel like it's not as grim as Black Mirror.
No, right.
Right? Like every time I watch Black Mirror, it's like, ooh, I can't watch it.
Yeah, Black Mirror is like we're all going to die. And
right. This is more like a little bit more whimsical.
Useless and nothing matters. You know?
Exactly. Yeah,
this was just a little brighter than that. I mean, it's kind of
a little bit. It still was. It's pretty dark, but yeah, not too not. But yeah, so you liked it overall? You would say?
I did. Yes, I would say 4 out of 5 recommend if you're into that kind of stuff. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely. I would say it's probably not for everybody. But yeah, I think it's. If you like a little...
No, there's a lot of belief suspension that needs to happen. Obviously.
Right. What was your favorite episode, I guess, up to that one?
Honestly, I liked the first one.
The first one I thought was very good also.
Yeah, I liked the first episode. So
I like the one with the... I like the one with the Chinese couple.
Yep.
I thought that one was fantastic.
Another good one, yep.
But yeah, honestly, I think they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
They're so good. That was on what, Apple TV or Amazon?
No, we had it on Amazon. Yeah,
Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon.
So check it out.
So take a look. Tales from the Loop.
Yeah, or the Loop Show, as I like to call it.
The Loop Show. Yes, as Chamber calls it. Any new recommendations for the week?
I gotta tell you, I've been watching.
So see, you're like a jump arounder. You like jump around shows, huh?
I do. Well,
I get a show in my teeth and then I finish it and then I move on.
Well, it depends. So like the Loop, like Tales from the Loop, I watch at night with my wife.
Okay.
So like a tier to me like a tier A, like a high tier show, we'll watch together. And then while I'm working, Monday to Friday during the work week, I usually have something playing in the background, and that'll be kind of like a lower tier show, or a show that I've watched already, so like a repeat.
Yeah.
But I'm rewatching. I don't think I finished it originally, but Hannibal just hit Netflix here in Canada. I don't know if you guys...
I saw that. I've never seen it.
Honestly, like if you like Silence of the Lambs, I think this is that high of quality. The guy that plays, I think I watched the first season. I think there's 3 seasons. I think I only watched the first one. So I'm in the second season now. Man, that is a high quality show. It's very, very good. The only thing I would kind of say is, the only thing that would, stop me from recommending it to somebody, the graphic, it's pretty graphic.
Oh, interesting.
It's like, you're like, shit, like, because I have it, playing during work, and sometimes I'm like, I have my lunch in my office, and I'm trying to eat lunch. I'm like, oof, can't eat lunch now. That's that was a little tough, tough to watch. So that would be the only thing. Like everything else, like the writing, the acting is all fantastic. The guy that plays Hannibal Lecter, to me, at the same level as Anthony Hopkins. And the only downside is like sometimes it's a little too graphic for me on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. But that's about it.
Interesting.
You got anything you watching?
No. I've just that. I watched your recommendations.
That's
we're
awesome.
We're struggling for new shows, so we gotta. I took your recommendation. We actually just started last night. My wife had never finished Lost. So
good.
We're doing a full-on rewatch. We watched the first 2 episodes last night. So
maybe the 2 best initial episodes of any television show ever made.
Totally.
Like the first 2 episodes of Lost are maybe perfect television.
Yeah, we need it. So
that's a tough one. I did that one. I think I did that one last year where I went through all of them again.
I said, like, this is great for us because it'll last us a long time.
Yeah, you're more than fine to watch that for a while.
Yeah.
I think it paid out. Like, I remember watching it originally, watching
and
it
being
on
really pissed at the damn ending.
And then I felt the payoff at the end was a little meh. But rewatching the ending again, I thought,
It's better the second time? Good.
I think
I'm fearing the same thing.
I think much better the second time, especially knowing what's coming. And then there are a ton of like YouTube videos breaking down.
Dude, I used to get so deep into the forums on what the hell is happening online.
They're great. So yeah, there's explanations of the ending and like what it actually all means. And there's one I'll send it over to you, but it's like the definitive one. And you're like, yep, that totally makes sense now that you watch it. You're like, okay, that. We weren't as versed in watching television back then as we are now, so there's a lot more.
Yeah,
a lot more there. So that's exciting.
I mean, we used to call it the boob tube.
We sure did, even when there was no boobs on it.
I mean, right now you can't turn it on without there being boobs on it.
So that's I'll be excited to see your feedback on Lost over the next weeks and months.
All right, so shall we get into some crypto?
Yeah, I think so. I think we should actually talk some crypto on the show.
Maybe. Maybe that's part of the reason we're going to once a week is we don't talk enough crypto. 2, maybe we're tired of talking about crypto.
Or 3, we actually know nothing about crypto.
Well, that's true. That's probably the actual truth, right? So, all right, let's just talk. Last time we were on, the market was up. This time, in the last week, we've seen some decreases here. We've got, we're down 4% in the last 7 days on Bitcoin. Current price 94.95. Ethereum down almost 6%. XRP down 4%. Bitcoin Cash down 6.5%. Bitcoin SV down 8.83%. And then Litecoin down 4%. BNB down 5.5%, and EOS down 6.5% to round out the top 10. So everything down this week. Literally nothing is in the green in the top 15. So what are your thoughts?
Well, we had a little bit of a rebound with Bitcoin because it was flirting with going sub 9.
Yes, that's
earlier.
true.
What day is it today? I think it was earlier this week or on the weekend.
Yeah, it might have been Monday. I don't even know.
And it bounced back. Like it got above 9,500 again. I haven't looked at the trend lines. Let me look at the trend lines now. I don't know if that was a thing. I think we're knocking on.
Can we just call them what they are? They're Laker lines.
Laker lines. The home and away Laker lines.
The Laker lines.
But we're knocking on this trend line from the tippy top, and we've been knocking on this. We hit it once, twice. I think we hit it once on May 29th. We hit it again on June 11th. And we keep hitting that resistance on the trend line. This is a diagonal line, not a horizontal line. So that I think that has a little bit more of a historical effect. But we've hit it twice already. I think we've hit it like another time. We could pop out of it. But that would kind of bring us, we'd have to break like $9,800, $9,900, kind of knocking on that 10K. But if we can get above 10K and stay above there, then we've broken the trend line that goes back all the way to, this one goes back. I think this one goes back to the peak of, this one goes back to the tippy top. So this is a 20K trend line.
Holy cow, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've been, like I said, we knocked on it back in July of 2019, and then really weren't even close to it until more recently, until May of this year. So, it's we'll see. I think it seems to be performing well considering, the downward pressure from that trend line. So, like I said, if it knocks on it a couple more times, it might bust through. I think every time it hits, I think it creates more momentum. I think that's the idea there. And again, the drops haven't been that significant. We went from 9,800 and then plummeted down to the very bottom was 90.75, and then recovered to where we are now, like that mid 9 range. So we'll see. I think it's ready for a breakout. I think I've been seeing that a lot on Twitter from people that are significantly smarter than I am about this stuff. But we'll see. I think it's prime for a breakout, though.
Well, that's from his words to from his mouth to your ears, people. Like
this is the same guy that called 150K at the top. So we'll see.
I mean, I have seen some of my non-coiner friends asking me recently about the state of events.
That's the magic talk right there.
Yeah. So we'll see how that. We'll see. But I mean, how are your alts doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Obviously.
I mean, I think this needs to be, going forward. We need the state of the market, and then we need Chambers' alt report.
So alts are okay. We had some really good success.
Would you say they're alt right?
They're alt center, I would say. My lower cap alts are doing better than kind of the bigger guys. But overall, I would say pretty good. We had a little mini alt season there a couple of weeks back, and that performed really well. But there's some. I have some here on my portfolio up 16% for the day versus BTC. I'm trying to find some other ones. Like I've had one that has been performing extremely well. That's that Ferrum network. I'm sure I brought it up before, where we've made our money back on what we spent, and now we're just letting the rest of it ride. We've made some pretty significant gains on that one. But I would say the mid-low cap alts are performing a little bit better. But that's today. That could change tomorrow.
It's like a weather forecast.
Yeah, it really is. Alt season is. In
I like that.
Can
we now get your weekly alt forecast?
Yeah.
But you have to present it like it's a weather forecast.
I think we can do that.
So we need like the corny news weather intro, and then
Yeah,
Ferrum network coming strong, left to right on the chart.
We have pressure, building up on the western front of the downward triangle.
You could see pressure building up right here against the trend line, and boom goes the dynamite.
And boom goes dynamite indeed.
God, what a video that was. One video, although that was a sports, he was trying to do sports, I think. But
I love it.
I don't, you know what I'm referring to?
100%, yeah.
Okay, I don't know if there's people out there that may not.
I feel Saturday Night Live spoofed it as well.
I think they did, but that is an all-timer. Like that was, I remember watching that on like E-Bombs World when I was in high school.
So did you see that live?
No, I did not. I only watched it via blooper clips. Did you?
No. Yeah, I didn't. But I think I caught it from Saturday Night Live first, and then I think went back and.
Oh man, I watched that on E-Bombs World in high school. That's how.
What's E-Bombs World? Is that like a ESPN show or?
No, it was like E-Bombs World. I think it still exists. Hold on. eBombsworld.com. EBAUMS world.com. And it was like the first, I don't know, like Funny or Die type of thing. Where like you would just post funny videos and memes and all this stuff. And it was really like the first one of its kind. And I can't believe it still exists. Holy crap.
Really?
Yeah. It's, okay. Well, the first picture up here is some guy holding a sign in a protest that says BBC Matters. I mean, that's E-Bombs World for you.
That's amazing.
I
never heard of that. So I'm gonna check it out.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I don't know if it's like it's. I used to be able to like play games on there. It was all the rage when I was in.
We'll reach out, see if we can get a sponsorship.
I like that. All right, so let's get to the news. All right, Chambers, start us off anywhere you'd like. News roulette.
All right, I have. This is the one that popped out me the most. This is from the blog Crypto. The co-founder of Centra Tech, which in 2017 ran an ICO promoted by boxer Floyd Mayweather, Money Mayweather, to those who know him well, and music producer
You think he should be like Fiat Mayweather?
Yeah. Yeah, Floyd Fiat Mayweather.
I like that. That's got kind of a ring to it.
And music producer DJ Khaled or Khalid. I don't know. I forget how to say it.
DJ Khaled.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Not my
come
cup
on,
of tea.
Get with it. Jesus.
Such a boomer.
No cap. That was embarrassing. Holy wig.
Yeah. So embarrassing. I got Floyd Mayweather. Come on.
You like quote him.
I know. He just has good memes. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry.
I think twice yesterday you quoted DJ Khaled in our chat.
I'm sorry. What would be a DJ Khaled quote?
And another one in all caps.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I like his memes. Does he do anything besides memes? I wasn't sure. Is he an actual DJ?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So anyways, so the gentleman that created the ICO that was promoted by those two lovely gentlemen pled guilty today. Maybe that was yesterday. So I don't know if they had, I don't know if they had court at 8:30 in the morning. So it was probably yesterday. Pled guilty to his involvement in a multi-million-dollar ICO fraud scheme. According to a news release from the U.S. Department of Justice, Robert Farkas pled guilty to conspiring to commit securities and wires fraud related to digital investment scheme that duped victims to the tune of $25 million. Mayweather and Khaled at one point served as public faces of the scheme, calling for their fans to participate in the unregistered sale. In 2018, the duo settled charges from the Securities and Exchange Commission that they failed to disclose payment that they received from their promotions of the ICO. Mayweather and Khaled were also sued by investors who accused them of violating securities law, but a federal judge dismissed them all from the suit in May of 2019. As for Farkas, he faces sentencing on a date to be determined according to the Department of Justice. He could face up to 10 years in prison. So, yeah.
First of all, Robert Farkas definitely just sounds like a fraudster.
Yeah. Sorry, your last name. Your last name's Farkas? Isn't that the bad guy?
Yes. And that's why I think of it. I think he's the bully in A Christmas Story. Yeah. Except it's Scott Farkas, I believe.
Scott Farkas, that's right.
Yes, Scott Farkas.
It's his brother.
Yeah. Robert Farkas, yes.
So obviously a bad dude with that last name.
Yeah. Floyd Fiat Mayweather.
Yeah, and meme sensation DJ Khalid.
Oh my God. All right. I've got one here also from The Block. Leaked documents show or detail how CoinSquare used automated tools to inflate the exchange volume. So we've seen this now many a time here where we've seen reports out about exchanges having false and washed volume and all of that stuff. So This is just the latest, and this is about CoinSquare. Vice's motherboard published an article Friday that outlined how Canadian
Yeah, this is what I use, by the way. This is what I use.
Canadian. Yeah, we were talking about CoinSquare.
Yeah, that's why I got that story as a follow-up from last week's article.
Okay, so we actually were discussing this last week. So the Canadian crypto exchange CoinSquare has allegedly used automated trading software to inflate its trading volumes. According to the report, Motherboard obtained leaked emails, Slack messages, and other files based on the materials gathered. CoinSquare appeared buying and selling cryptocurrencies between accounts that it controlled, an activity known as wash trading. So the point of wash trading, which is illegal under U.S. securities law, is to artificially boost trading volumes to make them appear bigger to other traders. The materials also outline the degree to which CoinSquare employees were said to be uncomfortable with the arrangement. Ooh, that's interesting. Reporter Joseph Cox noted several of the leaked documents specifically show CoinSquare's CEO Cole Diamond. I forgot about Cole.
Oh, yeah.
pushing for the company to practice wash trading and its employees being uncomfortable with the practice. The documents allege CoinSquare that CoinSquare performed wash trading at least during 2018 and 2019. New guidance from the Canadian security regulators. I wonder what that guidance looks like.
Just be a good guy, okay?
Come on. I mean, say you're sorry and get over it. How's my Canadian?
You're going to have to be the Zamboni driver for the next 3 years.
That's your punishment, eh? How is my Canadian?
That's good, man. It's good. It's good.
Okay. All right. New guidance from the Canadian security regulators earlier this year showed that many of the country's crypto exchanges may fall under national securities laws. Oh, what a surprise.
Oh, big shock. It only took 7 issues.
Oh, these are securities, eh? Oh. And as Cox noted, the Ontario Securities Act includes language restricting any action results in or contributes to a misleading appearance of trading activity in or an artificial price for a security, derivative, or underlying interest of a derivative. CoinSquare did not respond to a request. Can you reach out to CoinSquare for us?
I mean, I know him. He lives down the road from me. Hey, Doug!
Cole Diamond, eh?
His real name's Doug Johnson. A lot of people know that.
A.K.A. Hey, Cole Diamond.
Cole Diamond obviously should be the name of the weather person on our
alt forecast. Yeah. Your new alter ego is going to be Cole Diamond.
Cole Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Cole Diamond weather, or the alt forecast with Cole. It's the alt forecast with Cole Diamond on WRKT.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead.
See, like, this is what happens when we bring the heat once a week.
That's right. Yeah. See, it's watered down, I think, if we do it twice a week.
Yeah, much like your presence at family gatherings, there is a limit.
It's absolutely a limit.
By the way, I did before we get to our next 2 news stories, I do need to ask about this. I saw your tweet the other day that you had your first familial gathering in a while.
Yes, I did.
And then you followed up with a tweet, I don't know, minutes later that said you were already over it.
Oh, man. I got to watch what I say here because my wife might be listening to this one. But it's not my wife's fault. She's just a sweet lady. But what my mom visited, and there is nothing that hurts my ears more than 2 people, like, that when you have a conversation with somebody, not that they're not close, but it's just like this superficial conversation about nothing that's happening. Like they're talking, I don't know, they're not talking about the weather, but we'll just say they were talking about the weather, and they were having this in-depth conversation about the weather. Or I think they were probably just talking about like all the coronavirus stuff that's happened and like their opinions on them. Like, do we really need to talk about coronavirus? Like, come on, just shut the fuck up about it. Let's talk about literally anything else.
You just hate people.
I hate it so much. It was just, I was like I could hear them talking, and I'm like, this is my fucking nightmare. It's just the worst. I love talking to people, but I only like talking to people when we're talking about like real things. Like, that's not just, surface level bullshit chit chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I have problems.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. So it's obviously my wife continuously says that I'm on the spectrum and gives me she'll sneakily give me quizzes about like my Asperger's or whatever she diagnoses me with this week. But yeah, she continuously tries to convince me that I'm on the spectrum of some sort, and she's probably right. But I haven't officially gotten the tag.
All right, next news story.
You're not wrong.
What else you got?
I got here, Bitcoin continues to be the dominant payment method for BitPay, according to the new payment statistic released by the firm. Since 2019, Bitcoin has maintained a 90% market share of all payments processed by the payment count through BitPay's platform. The closest competing asset is Bitcoin Cash, believe it or not, which maintained a market share between 3 and 5%. Additional data revealed that from January to April, BitPay processed approximately 390,000 transactions, averaging roughly 98,000 transactions per month. BitPay is a significant player in the cryptocurrency payment processing space. According to its co-founder and CEO in 2019, the firm facilitated $1 billion worth of cryptocurrency transactions. So yeah, just saying here, BitPay's, again, probably one of the, I think we use it through our website. I think a lot of people use this one, and they're saying out of all the options, I feel like you get Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. I feel like there's maybe 4 or 5 options you can get, and they're saying 95 or 90% of the time it's always Bitcoin. So really nobody's using anything else. Oh, sorry, here I got it here. It's Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum.
In order?
These are all here. I'll give you the order. It is, yeah, so in order: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, BUSD.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. GUSD. And then, so there's GUSD, USDC. I think that's USD coin. PAX, which I believe is another stable coin. And then bringing up the rear, the standard XRP. So,
interesting.
Yeah, your top 3 are BTC, obviously, Bitcoin Cash, and then Ethereum. I would have thought Ethereum would have been higher than Bitcoin Cash had you asked me.
I would have too. I was surprised by that one also.
But
interesting.
Yeah, 90% of their payments all Bitcoin, which makes sense. I think maybe people don't want to spend their altcoins just yet.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you a perfect example. A couple of weeks ago, I
think it probably is also that some of these other altcoins are not really supposed to be currency, right?
That is true. But kind of giving a good example about not spending your altcoins. A couple of weeks ago, I think we mentioned on the show that I had won that gold wax garbage pail kid card. So I had sold it. And I think
first of all, tell the people how that all went.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago, we had I think Evan, right? Evan from Wax on, yeah. And we obviously talked about the garbage pail kids. I had bought a bunch of the packs. They had sold out real quick. We'd given some out as a contest.
I think I still have 2 packs.
Yeah, those are worth something.
Unopened, because
those are definitely worth something. And I think a week after we had him on, there was a giveaway. They had minted I don't know how many. I think it was maybe 8 or 9 or 10 gold cards, and they were just randomly given out to anybody that purchased a pack at any point during the launch. And sure enough, I ended up getting one, and I was looking on. They have this. There's another market that you can put these cards on, and I'm like, man, this one went for, I think it was like $1,200. I'm like, shit. I'm like, that's all right. I'm like, $1,200 ain't nothing to sneeze at. So I put mine on there, and I think I ended up selling mine for like $850. And
wow.
Yeah, and you sell it.
That's crazy.
Basically, you're selling it. So you're selling it for wax tokens on this site.
Right.
And I looked, and so whatever, I just, traded in and then took the wax and I just converted it to Bitcoin, and then I put it in my hardware wallet. And then I looked at the price of where I was on KuCoin, where I traded it a couple weeks ago, and I traded it was at like, I think 450 sats. And then I looked, and it was like the current price, or it had gone up to, I think, 1,100 sats in like that week. So I could have easily taken that $850 and probably made $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 had I just waited a week to sell it. How upsetting! How upsetting is that?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, right. So I think that's why people don't want to, use their alts to, to spend. Like like Ethereum, I have, I don't have a crippling amount of Ethereum, but I have a good amount of Ethereum. And that's the last thing that I'm selling right now. I'm just kind of like, I'd rather spend Bitcoin at this time than spend Ethereum, because I just think that there's a lot more upside, in relation to Bitcoin, I think, than the amount Bitcoin's going to go up in USD. So that's my 2 cents.
Very interesting.
I could be wrong, though.
Could change tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, could absolutely change tomorrow.
All right, I got one more story here. A leaked note that CZ sent to Binance staff says the exchange will defend itself against desperate Chinese competitors. So, in an internal note sent out today and obtained by the block, Binance CEO CZ lashed out at unnamed Chinese competitors, accusing them of trying to attack the exchange, and told the company's employees that Binance will defend itself. The note, whose authenticity was confirmed by multiple Binance employees, was written in both English and Chinese, and it starts by stating that Binance's Chinese competitors are desperately trying to attack us using unprofessional methods. CZ goes on to accuse competitors of launching a distributed denial of service, DDoS, attack on the Binance system, rallying fake Binance users to protest against the exchange, spreading fake news about the company or the organization, and organizing people to report Binance to local police stations. Binance's rivalry against other Chinese exchanges, including Huobi and OKX, is not new. Both on social media and in private group chats, Binance CMO Yi He has claimed multiple times that Binance's competitors are trying to undermine the exchange by spreading fake news and paying some media to publish unfavorable reports. In the note to staff, CZ suggested that competing exchanges attack Binance because they mistakenly think that the exchange does not have, quote, strong government relationships in China. Oh, interesting. The quote here says, they may feel this will hurt us, thinking we don't have strong government relationships in China. Both are wrong. We never proactively attack others, but we will absolutely defend ourselves, including defensive offense, the note reads.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Big words from a big man.
It's not clear what prompted the note, but it follows some recent negative local publicity. Earlier this month, Chinese state media reported that Binance still allows local users to trade cryptocurrencies via BinanceCheck.com. Binance has denied that, blah, 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 this and that, the other. Here's the note. Our Chinese competitors are desperately trying to attack us using unprofessional methods, including DDoS attacks. We handle it just fine. Organized fake protesters and taking pictures. There is only one real user in the group, and now he's openly supporting us. Black media, fake news, etc. Organize people to report at local police stations. And then it goes on and on to talk about what we just said. But so, are you putting any fake news on Binance?
No, I don't think so. I mean, not purposely.
But who knows? That could change tomorrow.
That could absolutely change tomorrow.
But anyway, all right. That's going to do it for us for the news. We've got a draft for you today. And this draft is coming because, in the time of cancel culture, yet another one bites the dust.
And another one.
And another perfectly timed. Well done. All right. So, Chamber, you want to describe what's happening here? Because even your wife messaged you about this.
She came in hot this morning. I didn't check my Twitter, and she's already, tweeting at me on social about Chris D'Elia. Pretty popular, I would say, a fairly top tier comedian in the world. I don't know, for those of you who are familiar with him. Apparently, he has been caught with his hand in the cookie jar, if you will. I don't even know. I think you read a little bit more than I did. I just know he got in trouble for, it sounds like maybe, DMing with some underage gals. Is that right? Am I catching that correctly? Or
Yes. So I guess what all these people have been coming out basically saying that when they were underage or very young, Chris D'Elia was emailing them in their DMs, trying to hook up with them, all of this stuff.
I heard some ages like
multiple, yeah,
right?
And it's not like one person. It's like a full on, accusation parade. So like, where there's smoke, there's fire, most likely, right?
So my wife tweeted at me saying like, basically, so I was introduced to Chris D'Elia from, a friend of ours, and they swore by him. This was, 10 years ago. I don't know how long ago, probably 10 years ago, maybe more. And they're like, oh, this new comedian, Chris D'Elia, blah, 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 blah. And I watch and I'm like, this is shit. He's not good. I don't like it. And there was just something about him I didn't like. And I never really liked him. And sure enough, and I always talk shit about it to my wife because it's one of her friends that's very funny, that we typically like the same things. And I'm like, yeah, Chris D'Elia, like that's just a bad call because he's just not funny. And then sure enough, my wife sees this news this morning and DMs me directly or tweets at me directly saying, you got it right. My ability to judge character was, undeniably correct again. But at the same time, I looked at her, I'm like, you do know that I love Louis C.K. still, right? Like this, like I'm not perfect. I'm a huge Louis C.K. Comedian fan.
I would call you an apologist at this point.
Possibly an apologist. I definitely say some things that would deem me an apologist. But yeah, so yeah, just because I didn't like Chris D'Elia doesn't mean I'm not good at my my radar is not always on. So
what are we drafting here?
I think we got to draft comedians.
We
Best
are.
comedians of all time.
Yes. And, but on a more serious note, on a scale of 1 to 10, how old were you when Chris D'Elia tried to fuck you?
I was 14. I think he was only like 18. I don't think he's that much older than me, though. So it was still kind of cool. But yeah, it was. I don't think he's that much older than I am. So it was okay. It was still kind of okay. But what I was gonna say is I have the list. I just Googled great comedians. Okay, just to give me. I didn't want to forget anybody. And in this time of
I know where you're going with this, I think, and I was thinking the same exact thing.
What a category, because in comedians, and these are the truth tellers of our generation, in my opinion, the philosophers, and that's how I get my philosophy is through comedian observation. And you look at the list of great comedians, and there's white guys, there's black guys, there's girls, there's everybody, the whole spectrum.
That's exactly what I was thinking this morning when I did the same thing. I Googled the list for the same reason, and I was like, what an eclectic group, and like that's how it should be, right?
It's exactly right. Like in comedy, there's no, I'm sure there's race and there's bigotry, but I mean, it's far less prevalent because you just see the list of the all-time greats, and there's a list of, I'm looking at probably 50 or 60 comedians, and like I probably won't pick her, so I'll give her a quick shout out now, and I don't think you will either, but like even like, Ali Wong, who's a fantastic, I don't know if you've seen any of her stand-up, a fantastic Asian female comedian, like top tier, like she's a killer. I mean, there's literally everybody under the sun in you look at guys like Aziz, who's I think his family is originally from Pakistan. Like you just like all sorts of races and yeah, just top quality, and it's not a thing, you know what I mean? It's just funny. Funny is funny, and that's what really shines through in comedy. So I just thought that was interesting to see that, and you don't really see it until you get all the greats right in front of your eyes like that. You're like, oh shit, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so we're gonna draft 4 each.
Yeah, I think 4. I'm looking at the list like there's so many I want to draft.
What's that?
There's so many people I want to draft.
Yeah, I know.
Can we do 100?
No, let's do 4. Let's do 4 each. Make you press and really pick,
Yep.
So
I'll let you
four each.
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, we'll go. Should we go the 1, 2, 2, 1 style?
No, let's just go
just
1, 1, 1, 1. I think. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna let me go first.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Shit, I don't know. I was gonna let you go first. I don't know.
It's so many. Like
get made fun of for this
to
one.
me, there's not a defined
like,
number one.
I don't know if I don't want to go first.
I'll go first.
All right. Well, no, I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take a comedian that I grew up with that was a staple of my childhood and growing up.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this one.
There's two that I could go with here, but I'm going with Dave Chappelle.
I mean, there's nothing. He's arguably the best comedian of all time.
I just think he's fantastic. And they, I grew up with Chappelle Show and all of that stuff. And he's an all-timer. So I'm going with Dave Chappelle, number 1.
Fudge. I think Fudge. That's a good one.
Is that what you were going to go with?
Probably. But wow, I mean, it's.
I'm glad I took it then. I wasn't sure.
There's a ton there. There's a ton of quality there. I think I'm going to go with Chris Rock.
Okay, very good one. I think
Chris Rock, to me, just time after time, every special is amazing. And just like Dave Chappelle, I mean, you watch any Dave Chappelle stand-up special, it's a 10 out of 10. That's how I'm grading my comedians, is like how many specials have I watched and how many are amazing.
So I guess I'm also going on, maybe television crossovers.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's fair.
So my number 2 is also from, my childhood, but a much earlier time in my childhood, but it still plays today. And it's still very good today. I'm going with Mr. Jerry Seinfeld.
No, that's like you're so right in Seinfeld being like, it's crazy. Like, you watch Friends. Like, when I was a kid, it was like, oh, Friends and Seinfeld, they were like 1A and 1B. And I'm like, it's not even
Seinfeld still
close.
holds up.
It's not even close. Seinfeld is so good, and Friends is a 90s sitcom. Like, that's it. That's what it is.
Yep.
Like, get out of my face.
So, I mean, I kind of think of it as like, one of our favorite shows is Always Sunny, right?
Right.
It's the Seinfeld of our generation,
yeah,
right?
I agree.
And it's just maybe a little darker and raunchier and all that.
And I feel it doesn't have the mass appeal that Seinfeld had. It's not an NBC.
But like Seinfeld still holds up. So for you to even like be comparing anything of now to that,
right,
is good. All right, so I'm going Seinfeld. So my top 2 are Chappelle and Seinfeld. Man, I'm doing all right.
You're not doing all right. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. Unfortunately, I have to go with my heart.
Here it comes. I'm not gonna pick them. So you could save them for last if you wanted to be.
No, I want to pick him like nothing ever happened, and that he was still in the running for top comedian of all time. So in my heart, he still is. His specials are always fantastic. I've watched the most recent one, and it was a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. And I'm going with Louis C.K.
Oh, I knew it. I knew you were gonna pick that, but like I said, I wasn't gonna pick that. So you could have picked it last.
And honestly too, like, we're talking about TV crossover. Like, there was Lucky Louie that was on HBO, and that was all right. That was kind of like a R-rated sitcom. I don't know if you ever watched it. It was interesting. But then there was the FX show Louie.
Yeah.
Did you see that one at all?
I watched, I think, maybe 1 or 2 seasons of Louie.
One of my favorite shows of all time. Like, it's, to me, like, he was doing things, like, at certain points it wasn't funny. It was just like, oh, this guy is, like, a real creative genius, like, when it comes to, like, writing and directing. And now you can't get the show anywhere now. I think FX took it right off of its list of shows you can go back and watch. But if you ever get a chance, go back and watch all of Louie. It's unreal good. So anyways, that's my apologies for the day.
All right. So
what do you got for third?
Here's where I'm going with this next one. And this is a comedian that has since passed away, but far too young. I'm going with Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, I remember hearing Mitch Hedberg for the first time. I feel like it was in, like I don't know if I ever told you this before. I used to sell cars for a good chunk of my life.
No, I did not.
Out of college. Yeah, so I sold cars for like 8 years. And I think I started when I was like 19, 20 years old. And I remember getting you'd get demos, like you get your own company car, when you worked there. And this was the time that like XM and Sirius started coming out. Oh, yeah. And I remember getting I'm sure you've had it at some point when you get the Comedy Channel and you hear my comedy chops got so much better once I started lining like the
for hours and hours.
Oh my god,
nonstop.
And yeah. I think that's where I heard Mitch Hedberg for the first time was on these things, and I'm just like, fuck, this guy is so good. And then I'm realizing, I'm just looking at the list here. He died in 2005. That's probably when I started listening to him.
Yeah.
And realizing, oh shit, he's already dead. And like he just
that's about the same. I think he was already dead when I started listening to him.
It hurts, but yeah, he is absolutely, he should be on the list. That's a great pick at number 3 for Mitch Hedberg.
Should we go for 5 each?
Fuck yes, I think so.
All right. You're up for your third.
So my third one, this guy's a little bit more current. Came out of nowhere. He's he's a big, I'm a Saturday Night Live guy. Oh. He comes from Saturday Night Live. So I've been following him forever. He was never a cast member. He was always a writer on Saturday Night Live, but I knew him pretty well.
Oh, wait a second. Are you going to pick who I think you are?
I don't know. So he was never a cast member. He was always a writer, and I was familiar with him. So when he went to comedy, when he did his first stand-up special, I was ready to go and ready to watch it. And it turned out the guy is a comedic genius and only puts out amazing specials, and his name is John Mulaney.
Okay, that's who I'm taking. Going. Nice. John Mulaney's a good one.
Yeah, to me, he's just right now. He's in the top 3 best performing comedians,
for
in
sure.
my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. He's so good. All right, I'm going back a little old school here. I don't want to go too old school, but I'm going old school. I'm going to go with Eddie Murphy.
He is evergreen. He is not old school. This guy is... Yes, this guy's evergreen.
But but I would say nowadays he's not known for...
No, he's known for not going on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, Eddie Murphy Raw and Eddie Murphy Delirious... I mean, arguably, Delirious is probably the greatest stand-up special of all time.
Yeah. I think he's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think that, man, you got a good list here, buddy. I got to tell you. Fuck. I'm missing out. Okay, so I'm going to go with, shit, you went Eddie Murphy. You know what? I'm going, again, one of my favorites. I'm going to go probably the funniest woman ever to do comedy, in my opinion. That's Sarah Silverman. I'm going with Sarah Silverman.
Ooh.
With my 4th pick.
She's very good.
Yeah, I think, she just, she gets it. She's fantastic. I think that's the one I'm going with.
Good pick. I like that pick. All right, for my last one, I knew you wouldn't pick it, and I don't know if many people even really know who this person is.
You going Bill Cosby?
No. I don't know if many people even really know who this comedian is, but one of my personal favorites. They've now done a couple movies. They've put out, or they've been in some, bigger TV roles lately. But
who you going? I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm going with Mike Birbiglia.
This might be my last pick.
It was?
Yeah, 100%. I love Birbigs.
Yes, I love Mike Birbiglia.
Have you seen his new special?
It came out like last year, right?
I feel like it came out last year. It was
I think I watched it on the plane, hungover as hell. It was coming home from my bachelor party.
He was going through his life, how he never
with
get
the
married,
kid, right?
With the kids, exactly.
Yes. It was so good.
Very good. That to me is more to me. That's not even a stand-up special. That was like a
but that's kind of his style, right? He's much more of a storyteller.
And the fact, when he did the kids things and they dropped all.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was so awesome. It was very good.
Yeah.
So yes,
he's a storyteller. I mean, he's a comedic storyteller, but he's a storyteller.
I remember hearing the first stories of him being like a sleep. I'm assuming you watched Sleepwalk with Me, his movie. Did you see Sleepwalk with Me?
Yes, I've seen.
And when he started, when I started hearing stories about him having to put himself in a sleeping bag at night.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
At what was the hotel? I can't think.
La Quinta Inn
and Suites. I think that the story is.
That doesn't even have to be the actual hotel. He probably was just like, "What's the?"
I feel like that's what it is. I feel like that's what it was. And the story was one of the first stories I heard was he was touring. He was starting off in comedy and was staying at a La Quinta Inn and Suites and was on the second floor and slept walk. I don't know how you slept walked.
I don't know.
Out his window. Crashed out the window and landed on the ground off of the second floor, and then realized he had a sleepwalking issue and then started having to sleep in a sleeping bag. But what a fantastic story. Okay,
I'm very glad that
I was 100% I was 100% taking Mike Birbiglia.
Wow, okay.
I'm like, oh, you won't. I didn't know you were gonna pick it, but I felt confident that I could take it at the end. So I'm gonna go with my backup. This is a little deeper cut. He passed away back in the 90s. I didn't find him until kind of that same time, that early 2000s. I wasn't aware of him, but I think I've watched everything he's ever done now, and that's Mr. Bill Hicks.
Great one.
Big fan of Bill Hicks. And that's
for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to go with. Did you hear the conspiracy theory that Bill Hicks is actually who's the guy that does InfoWars?
Yes, I did see that last year. What is his name? I forget. Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. So that's that one. I'm like, oh, that can't be right. Bill Hicks is so cool, and Alex Jones is so uncool. So I hope that's not the case.
That's funny.
Okay, so let's run down the list here. So you have Dave Chappelle, Jerry Seinfeld, Mitch Hedberg, Eddie Murphy, and Mike Birbiglia. Man, that is a great list. I have Chris Rock, Louis C.K., John Mulaney, Sarah Silverman, and Bill Hicks. Not too shabby if I do say so myself.
No, yours is very good as well. So
that's a tough one.
I want to put this poll out.
Yeah, we'll
immediately.
I think we'll put this one out today. I'll put this one out later today because this one we need answers on.
Yeah, we definitely
this
do.
One's too close to
call. This poll needs to go out, and I'm totally fine with canceling Chris D'Elia.
Yeah, were you a fan of his?
No.
He wasn't even showing up on the list. I don't know if they erased him already. I don't think
he's
so.
Just not that great.
He just wasn't that great, and I was just so frustrated when people tell me how amazing he was.
Well, he's got like a shtick, and that's kind of
to me. He was just the new what's his name? No, I want to say Dean Cain, but that's not his name. Dane Cook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just like new Dane Cook. I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, not a great all-time great, but.
Oh, alrighty. That is going to do it for us. I would say a solid show for the week.
Very solid show. Yeah.
I would say.
We got it all
just
in
to pat
there.
ourselves on the back.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to check us out anywhere else, find us on coinhq.tv, at coinhq_ on Twitter, always at our Rekt Podcast locations. Our Twitter's back in action, I think. I don't know.
Oh, it is.
It's back in action. All right. Our Twitter's back in action, and our Telegram group's gotten a little, it's got to be a bot pump, no?
Bot pump for sure. But we'll take them. We'll take all the bots.
Why are bots interested in our
something?
thing?
We triggered an algo.
I mean, how does that even happen?
I don't know. It's tough to say. Maybe just because we're chatting more on there.
We've literally got like 6 people that chat with us regularly in there.
Yes.
And then in the last week, like 30 new people showed up.
Yeah, and they haven't said a word.
Yeah. So whatever, inflate those numbers, pump it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the coin square of Telegram.
Oh man, the coin square of Telegram, Rekt Podcast.
Awesome.
I like that. All right, that is going to do it for us. So we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, same bat chamber. And until next time, don't get wrecked. And that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a Rekt patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/Rekt Podcast. Don't get wrecked.